Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to see you already chatting out in the replay chat there or whatever. It is so fun to see. And I saw somebody said they had at some point last week negative 45. Oh my goodness. I'm glad you're back up to 30 now. So, everybody, I am doing some really fun cards today. We are going to be working on rainbow ink blending, but we're going to also kind of dip back into a previous live I did with Papertrey Ink and look at some specialty paper. So I'm going to kind of peek these to you, and then of course I'll put them back on the mat and show them up close. But we're going to be making some rainbow birthday cards. I don't know if you're like me, but birthday cards are one of those things that I am always needing more of, and especially at the beginning of the year when I'm on task and ready, I want to get as many of those ready as I can. We're going to look at some wonderful foil paper with some die cuts, and we'll be using Papertrey ink today. But we're going to create some really, really happy birthday cards and have lots of fun. So while people are popping in, I saw Dorothy said, stay warm. Yes, today I put on my warm sweater. Hopefully I'm not going to sweat through this, but today is Go Red for Heart Disease for Women. And so if you haven't done that, put on your red today and support that. We are definitely underrepresented when it comes to heart disease. So I'm wearing my red today. I know it's kind of red pink, but just a little bit of festiveness there to celebrate that. All right. So yes, I love Papertrey ink. Y'all know I do. We are going to have so much fun today. And we're going to look at ink blending these rainbows, but we're also going to be looking at ink blending on a specialty paper. So I'm going to show you some tips and tricks on that. I don't know if you can see the detail on that or not, but there's a different type of paper in the background, which makes it even extra fun. And we're going to do all of this blending with only 3 colors. So I'm going to show you how to do that. All right, I see everybody. Thanks so much. So Rachel should be in the chat. Yeah, she's going to be posting links. Today we have 2 giveaways. We've got a live giveaway and we've got a replay giveaway. So don't miss those. Even if you're watching the live and you want to go in and put in your replay guess or whatever, then you can enter for both of them if you want to. But we will give one away in this stream, and we have an exclusive coupon code from Papertrey Ink as well today because I wanted to show you one more project. So let me go overhead and show you what we're working on today. And I'm going to show you one other can't speak today, Papertrey ink project that this is the reason we're getting the special code. And I'll show you in just a second. Let me go to my overhead camera and pop myself up in the side right here. Okay, these are what we're working on today. So we've got the beautiful balloon stencils here. We're going to use some stencils. We're going to use some rainbow ink blending. And then we're going to do something completely different where we use this foil paper. And I'm going to show you a couple things, how I got the splatter on it, just how I used some of these papers. I even cut out my little edges right here. I cut these out by hand because I wasn't quite sure which die piece went to it, and I kind of like how they look. So, oh, Arlene, I see you. Nice. Okay, so these are the 3 that we're working on today. We'll start with how we work with this paper and how you can ink blend on it. This paper that we're using behind these is from your Paper Insider. So if you missed the live stream a couple weeks ago on your Paper Insider, this is kind of a continuation of more products, and everything I made in that video was with Papertrey ink products. So I think we used a little bit of Gina K as well. But these are the ones we're making. The one that I wanted to show you too, this is one that I made that we're not going to make today, but I do want to show you a couple things. Plus, it matches my nails. So of course that's super fun. This one's kind of a continuation from the last live stream as well. I stamped with the heart, and then I added some of the heirloom hearts. So if you need some ideas here, and then I got a tip from Melissa at Papertrey using distress spritz. So this paper is actually shiny and sparkly with that distress spritz. So this is my first time using it. I know it might look like a little bit of a mess, but I kind of like how it turned out. So super fun. These are products from Papertrey as well, and I think I have these on the supply list. This heart is sold out right now, but it should be coming back soon. Okay, and then this is the card that I wanted to show you. This is why we have our coupon code today. And Rachel, you're welcome to go ahead and put that coupon code in there. It is 10% off of the Papertrey site. until Monday night at 11:59 p.m. So you've got this weekend to look if you need to. But the reason that they were doing this is because I've started promoting the Cardmaker Success Summit, and that is a free class that's coming up. And this is what I'm going to be making. And I want to show you what we did. We did a Z fold, but I also did a spinner in here. So it's super fun card. All these products, I gave them to Rachel, so she'll pop in the supply list for this class. But this is a free class. They do have upgrades where you can upgrade and go ahead and start watching it now and get some extra bonuses. But this is why, this is Papertrey Ink pattern paper. This is that wonderful set. I love this set. It's the graduation set. It's called Framed or something like that. Julie can put it in there. I can't remember the exact name. And then we got lots of birthday things using that pattern paper, using some embossing. It's just a super fun card. So just FYI, that is coming. So what we're going to work on first is this one. And I want to show you because we need to kind of do a little bit of prep. Since this paper, let me show you what this paper is like. This paper is a really thin, tissuey paper. Okay. So this is a real thin paper. And it's like tissue paper, okay? So real thin. So we're gonna prep our card base. I've prepped one so that we can move right into it, but I wanna show you, hold on. And so I prepped one. I put it on a white card base, and I know that means you can't see the detail quite as well, but you're gonna see it light up when we do the stenciling. But we're making 2 of these cards, so let me show you how I prepped this so you'll know. This one's already dry, so we can start working, but this one we need to get started. So I've got my cardstock in here, and I'm just using a plain white piece. It can be scrap paper. This one is what I use for card bases, so I'm gonna be using that one. And then we've got our pieces of this tissuey paper, which can be a little bit difficult to work with. So you wanna make sure that you know how to adhere it. Let me put this over here. Trying to keep my supplies ready. Let me see if I'm missing. Oh, and if you have questions during this live stream, just make sure to pop up question really big, and hopefully I will see that in there, okay? So this paper has 2 different sides. It's got a side that is rougher and a side that's slicker. So on the first one that I prepared, we did the slick side. So I'm gonna do the exact opposite on this, and they give you a little bit of different results. Yes, thank you, Deborah. I saw that. Deborah, I'm okay with the flooding. I know she was asking if I was having any flooding here in Tennessee. Yeah, please hit the thumbs up and like and subscribe. And then we are going to get this piece of paper here. Let me see. I saw lots of weather. Y'all are having weather. I hope everybody's feeling okay. This is the time of year where I start getting the sniffles, so you may see me do a little bit of blotting my nose. But it's just that time of year, isn't it? Okay, so what I'm going to do is do a light application of glue. And I'm gonna make sure I get it very close to the edges, but keep it as light as I possibly can, okay? Because I want it to dry fast. So I'm gonna actually even use some things to kind of spread it around a little bit. You could just do dots if you want, but the real important part is right along the edges because these little tissue paper edges want to kind of come up. Okay, so I've got kind of a light amount of glue. I put a little bit too much right here, so I'm gonna use the little silicone item that we did last time and just kind of blot some of it off. So I'm just making sure that I don't have any big blobs anywhere. Okay, yeah, I think we got it. Now I'm gonna look at my, yes, so much crazy about it. I'm gonna look at this paper and I can tell you this is the shinier side, this is the duller side. So I'm gonna put the dull side up on this one. And I'm just gonna be really careful with applying it because if you get a wrinkle in it or anything like that, you're not gonna be able to do it. So that's the one thing about glue. At least you can kind of move it around a little bit. But you see, if I get a wrinkle, I'm toast. So once I've got it about where I want it, I'm going to use an acrylic block and hold that down. So is there, okay, so Cat Scrapper's asking, is there a theme to the next release from Papertrey? I don't have the next release yet, so maybe Julie would feel comfortable saying that, but usually there is an Easter at some point. I'm just not sure if it's going to be the next one or not. There was no release in January, so we're playing with some older products here, some of which are already, might be out of stock, but there's a long explanation for that, but they're coming back, so just stay tuned. If something I'm using today is out of stock, it is coming back soon. Okay. So we've got our paper here. I'm gonna leave this on it and just let that kind of dry and settle right there because we'll use that second. Now for our first one, let's get out our sticky mat and get ready to do some ink blending. Let me see if there's any questions. Okay, so Papertrey says they're gonna be doing, it looks like birthday cards next. Yeah, I see Arlene says she always gets it wrinkled. I know. Okay, so birthdays are the next theme. So I'm going to stick this paper, and I know it's hard to see because it's white, but it's going to start popping up in just a second. So I think you could do this with any type of tissue paper. If you've got a patterned tissue paper and you're willing to try it out on your card, just grab something from your wrapping supplies. That's perfectly fine. Okay, we're going to be using just 3 colors to ink blend this. So I'm going to go ahead and get my ink blending brushes, and let me grab those colors. We're going to be using a pink, a blue, and a yellow. So here's what we're going to be using: party dress, glitz, and something borrowed. Okay, and I'll say those are all in the supply list with Rachel. Okay, so let me grab the stencil that we're going to use. We're going to be using the Papertrey Ink Balloon Party. I think this is sold out right now, but it's coming soon, okay? And it's one of my favorites of theirs. It comes with this one, which we're going to start with, and then it also comes with another balloon one. Let me just show you. Let me get this lined up and make sure I've got it pretty even on here so our balloons aren't off center. Okay. And I would say use a little bit of tape to hold this down on the edges. So I'm just going to use painter's tape this time. And we're going to hold just the edge. I'm going to try not to get this on the tissue paper. Yeah, Bo said I used the clean sticky mat in my presentation at the Card Making Stash Summit last weekend. And it's funny too, because when I'm trying to put stuff on video, sometimes I don't go back to my old tried and true one that's all stained here. So this usually, if you have a brand new one, it may be clear, but mine of course is pink because I've done tons of ink blending on it. So I'm going to tape down all 4 sides because I don't want to put anything sticky on the back of this stencil to hold it down. And when you're using tissue paper, it does ink blend a little bit different than regular paper. So I'm going to show you a couple tricks with that. Oh no, Cat Scrap, you don't have this stencil? This is a classic one. I love it. I think it's from last year. So it's called Balloon Party and it's got 2 in it. So we're going to use both of them today. All right, I'm going to tape down one other edge, but we're going to start with glitz. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Sharon. I have my hair up because I've got this really hot sweater on today, and I knew I would get too hot if I left my hair down. So if y'all are wondering why in the world, I was like, well, I'll just go with hair up today. All right, so what was I needing? I was needing another piece of tape. Yes. Thank you. Yes, blue tape is, so I like blue tape for adhering things on the outside edges, but I've had some trouble, especially with a really temperamental paper. It definitely has more stick than some of the ones that are made to release from paper. So I really love this Spellbinders one. This releases from paper really well. And the one from Altenew, it's a purple tape, does a good job. But if I'm going to do the outside edges, I don't want to waste that good tape that goes on there. Oh, Arlene, you having to head out? Bye, Arlene. I'll see you on the replay, I hope. Okay, so I'm just going to get some of this, and we're going to start in the middle. So we're going to do yellow down the center, and that way we can blend it out with other things. But when we start on a piece of paper, especially if you haven't tested this out, you need to kind of go slow and slowly add, because it'll just take, because it's not a super slick paper, it'll just make an imprint of your brush, okay? Yeah, good, Judy. Yeah, any type of stencil you use. And like I said, if you don't have this paper, you can use regular paper to do this trick. You can do, you could use just tissue paper if you've got stuff for wrapping presents. And it works really well. So I'm just really dabbing my brush off. I'm going to try to make my darkest part towards the center of this stencil. So we'll start adding some glitz, and it's gonna look like I'm just putting way too much on here, but remember, we're gonna ink blend this into other things. So we're kind of bringing it out to the side a little bit too. Do you see that pattern starting to evolve too? Oh, yay. So, hey, Eileen, is Balloon Party in stock? Is this stencil in stock? She said she added it to her cart, so I was checking. Make sure if you're adding to your cart, you're using my link as well. And remember, there's that coupon code. Oh, thanks so much, Michelle. I appreciate it. Maybe I need to wear my hair like this more often. Getting lots of compliments. All right, so I'm gonna go along here. We're gonna add a decent amount of yellow. We're gonna take up about a third of this with yellow, okay? And I'm trying to keep my darkest long line right down the center. So you see how I'm kind of darker at the edges of these balloons? That's so that I can have a little bit of color, but I can eventually blend in other ones. Okay, so just kind of going like this. Thank you, Sharon. All right, and then I'm gonna make sure I've got it dark enough down at this bottom edge. And just be kind of careful. If you've got a paper like this that's glued to the edges, just be cautious as you come up over this edge that you don't pull the paper as well. So I'm just going to use what's on my brush to kind of blend that out a little bit more and not add any more ink. I'm just adding some yellow, and we can always go back and add to each little section if we want to. So we got our nice, about a third of it. Maybe I should just do a little bit more here and here. So about a third of the cardstock. Hey, we're glad to have you. So today, one thing I wanted to know is, are you working on birthday cards right now? Are you working on Valentine's? What's your project on your desk right now? Tell me in comments so I know. Okay, so we're gonna go with red next. Actually, I'm gonna go with blue next. I like to start from this direction. So we're gonna go with something borrowed. You could use any blue that you want. I just had these and started playing with them the other day. Okay, all right, and I'm gonna come in with the blue from here, and I'm going to make it darker towards this outside edge. So I'm coming off the stencil and then coming into it. Okay. And we'll do this a little faster on our next one. And you can make it, if you want to stay real pastel, you can just add less ink. But I like adding, I want y'all to be able to see it on camera, so I'm going to make mine kind of bright. Always making birthday cards. Next will be Easter. Yes, I had a really fun Easter live stream with Papertrey last year. They have some really cool Easter products. So if you're looking for some, check out some of their stuff. I'm sure they'll end up having an Easter release. I don't know. I guess we could ask Julie that. Ooh, working on cards for art therapy. Awesome. Okay, so I'm going to kind of come in with that blue. And then what's left on my brush, I'm going to kind of do the in-between. Okay, just adding a little bit through here, not getting too aggressive with it, because we're going to try to add the blue and green there. And we're going to blend these two colors so that we can make a beautiful color, green. Okay, I feel like I need to come back with the yellow in just a second, but let's do our red first. And then we'll get a good blend of those colors. So red, same thing. Technically, it's hot pink, basically, but it's your red. So we're doing red, yellow, blue, and when we mix these all together, we're gonna have a full rainbow. Ooh, some cute chicks, nice. She said she's working on her Easter cards. Do all of you do Easter cards? So this ink, I have a little bit more on my brush, so I'm able to pull it kind of through here. Okay, look at how beautiful that's starting to look. Okay, now I'm going to add just a little bit more blue, and then we're going to bring in the yellow and try to really make that look mixed with the other colors. Okay, so I'm going to bring in a little bit more blue, kind of mix it in the middle here, and probably the bottom of this row, just to give it a little bit more fun. And you want to make sure you got enough that it's turning a little green for you. So I'm just going to add until I see a good color mix right through there. Don't forget your very bottom part. Okay, so we're starting to get our kind of color mix here. We'll come back in with the yellow as well and mix that. But look how this is starting to give you that nice green color. Oh yeah, Valentine's and Easter cards, awesome. I didn't ever really think about Easter cards until more recently. I really like making them. I really do. It's just my mom loves to get one and family members. Okay, so bringing a little bit more yellow in. I still think I need a little bit more blue there. I'm gonna bring a little bit more red through here too. And since I've already got yellow on my brush, if you get a little bit of blue on your brush, you can always tap that off on like a piece of paper towel. If you're worried you're gonna mix your colors, just use your paper towel and wipe off that top layer. Make sure it doesn't have any of the blue on it, okay? Or you can get yourself a green brush and then mix. Nice. All right. So let's add a little bit more red, I think, up here, and then I'm gonna come in with that yellow. So tell me, are y'all stencils? Let's do like a little quiz. Stencils, stamps, or dies? What's your favorite? Stencils, dies, or stamps? What's your absolute favorite? I am going to have a hard time answering that question myself. I'm going to tell you for sure. So I'm just adding a little bit more yellow down here just to get a little bit of different color. And I'm going to go back over with my pink brush and just make sure I got some nice orange. So you can just keep kind of layering until you feel like you've got a good mix of colors. I think we're good now. I can see the greens right through here. I feel like I need just a little bit of green right there. So let me add some blue. It's going to look beautiful. Okay, and then if you really want to get fancy, you can wrap your rainbow around and add a little bit here, but I like to just leave it like it is. Yeah, stencils make me feel artsy too. Okay, dies, embossing. Oh, and you know, Tina knows I love some embossing folders. Yeah, dies are fun. All right, are you ready for the reveal? Super fun. Make sure if you haven't done it yet that you hit the thumbs up. There's a lot of you here, and that helps people see it on the replay. Haven't done much stenciling. Okay, well, we're going to do some dies later, too. We'll do dies in our blue card, but y'all got to see this. Oh, look at how good we did with our stencil. Oh, my goodness. It does make you just feel like an artist, doesn't it? All right, so look at how gorgeous that is. We're going to take this card even further, but let me wipe off the stencil because you want to clean. If you got this much ink on your stencils, you definitely want to clean them off really quick, and that'll give this a second to kind of dry. Oh, wait, I saw Rachel had a question. Okay, so Rachel said, do you prefer the full-size Catherine Pooler inks or the minis? So for storage, I prefer the minis. For the full size is nice if you're going to swipe a whole piece of paper, but really I think I grab these more than I do the full size. Like it'd be nice to color a whole page with that, you know. Okay, let me clean. I'm going to clean both the matte and this stencil at the same time real quick. We'll just use our extra piece of paper towel here. Let me catch up on questions. Okay, so I'm just going to clean this with a wet paper towel just to make sure I don't ruin the stencil because you know I love this stencil. Oh, and Julie, I don't know if she has said it yet or not, but I'd love to know how many people or if anybody's coming to the Simon Says Create event. Papertrey's going to be there. They have a booth. They'll have make and takes, all kinds of fun stuff. So I'm going to be helping out in the booth some, and I would love to know who's there. Who's coming? Okay, yes, good to know, Rachel says. Any other questions? Oh, Brenda has her red on too. Good. So we talked about it a little bit earlier, but today is the Wear Red for Heart Disease. So, and I specifically say for women's heart disease. I don't know if that's specifically a thing, but women's heart disease, I don't know if y'all know, but I'm a nurse practitioner and we just get underrepresented in that. They miss us a lot. And so, knowing some women who've had heart attacks, it's just not the same symptoms. So wear your red today to support. Oh, hi from Orange County. Nice to see you. I bet your weather's nice. That's awesome. Okay, so we've got that one cleaned off. We're gonna do some other fun tricks. So let me hold it up close to you so you can see how we did here. Okay, so like I said, you could do this on any type of paper. I just picked this patterned tissue paper because I thought it was super fun to have that pattern in the background. Do you see how that looks? But you do have to be a little bit more careful on your ink blending because this is not your normal slick paper. So just go cautiously. Yeah, Carmen says she's not. Oh, somebody else lives in Orange County too. We've got lots of Orange County people out here. That's awesome. Lots of crafters out there. Okay, so next we are going to use a couple fun things. If you are looking to do birthday cards, this is one of my favorite sets from Papertrey Ink. It has so many different birthday things in it. We're going to use Make a Wish today. We're going to use Let's Celebrate. Let me see if you can see that. Let me turn this over on the back and then you can see. We're going to use this Let's Celebrate, Make a Wish. I love this font right here, and it's called Papertrey Ink Birthday Your Way 2. Okay, great stamp set. Use it all the time. I think I've had it for a year or so, and it works really well. So we're going to make this part right now, and I'm going to show you what I did for this. We got to get the die cut first. I used their new die cut, and this has some interesting things to it, so I want to show you. It doesn't seem like it's anything crazy, but it has these little places where you can run ribbon through, and so I used this to stamp on, and we're going to stamp and heat emboss it, and then we're going to stamp in beautiful rainbow stamping over it, okay? Just to give it more detail. So let's cut this out of white. And like I said, this one is called the Joshua First. This is Reflections Joshua 1. When you see how I cut this, I think you're going to love this die. So we're going to cut that out of white. Let's see if I have enough paper here. Look how I did that one. Let's see if it fits. Nope, does not fit there. We'll have to use a little bigger piece. Okay, so we're going to cut this out here. Let me send it through. And then we're going to do some stamping, okay? And then we're going to add rainbow stamping because why would we stop at just a little bit, right? I love the Reflections dies. And I love those verses too. It's hard to find Bible verses for cards, and so it's nice that Papertrey has those. Okay, so we'll send this through, cut it out. And then I'm going to grab my stamp wheel. Okay, now got a hair on there. So this die, sorry, has a little spot right here where you can run a ribbon through it. So see, it's got, and I'll show you when we put the card together, and it has the top. So this little spot right here is not completely connected. So if you wanted to put a ribbon through it or behind it, it's nice to hold that on there. Super cute. Okay, let's put up this. And we will do a little stamping because I want to show you this rainbow stamping as well. Now, rainbow stamping you could do with all kinds of things. I thought about just taking all these sentiments and making them rainbow stamped, but I went a little bit easier route, and we'll use a background stamp that's not from Papertrey. Sorry, Papertrey. This one was just an easy one to do. But first, we're going to start with heat embossing, which means I got to add some powder. Yeah. Yes, it's very nice that Papertrey does. I agree. Yeah, it's kind of hard to find those. I agree. So I think I overdid it on the powder there on that one, but that's okay. So do you tend to craft all year round, or do y'all tend to, make your birthday cards and take a break from crafting for a while? I'm definitely a craft all year round, but y'all probably knew that. But I'm just curious if there's like, if you just get together for certain holidays. So I'm gonna try not to touch this because it has powder on it. So I'm actually gonna use my acrylic block just to make sure that's pressed down without getting my oily fingerprints on it, okay? Yeah, fun stuff on the blog. Okay, so we're gonna use Make-A-Wish. Yeah, I craft all year round too. Oh, Nancy crafts almost every day. That's awesome. Yeah, all year. Okay, yeah. I do less crafting in the summer, mainly just because of activities, you know, with the kids and stuff. Sometimes it's not as, um, not, I need to be out there with them during the school year. They're at school and I can get a little bit more done. But in the summer, sometimes that's a little bit harder. Okay, so I'm gonna do Make-A-Wish, and I'm just gonna stamp it in black and use clear heat embossing. And the reason that I'm doing that is because if you want to stamp over a black image, you're going to need something to kind of protect that beautiful black look, or it's going to get some other colors in it and not be quite as crisp. So what we're gonna do is stamp this in black. I'm gonna use my regular black ink, and then we're gonna add some clear heat embossing. So I'm gonna stamp this a couple of times just to get a good amount of ink there. Yeah, I definitely consider it a blessing that I can craft most days. I would say these days, I don't get to craft every day. I tend to like craft in batches, and then I have to do so much stuff for putting videos together and things like that, that I may only craft a couple of days of the week, and then the rest of them is it's working on getting the stuff together. So, and Papertrey mentioned too, it's they are having their next release is going to be birthday things. I haven't seen it yet, so I can't tell you, but we'll definitely be making some more birthday cards. So if you get lots of inspiration for this, I'm sure we plan to have a live stream on release day, which is Tuesday I'll have Julie say, is that the 26th or the 24th? It's a Tuesday, and we'll probably have it late that afternoon. So just FYI, lots of fun stuff coming with the new release. Nice. Oh yeah, so you're retired, so you get to craft most days. That's awesome. Okay, so now we're gonna add some clear heat embossing, and hang on to your stamp wheel or your MISTI, whatever you're using if you're crafting along. I'm gonna use tweezers here, and we will add a little bit of heat, and I'm gonna answer questions while I'm doing this heat embossing. Whoops, that one's white. I need clear. And we talked about a little bit too, if you're just popping in, that I have another class coming up with the Cardmaker Success Summit. You'll see things about it. It's got free tickets, it's got paid tickets. I'm making a Papertrey card there, so that's why we have the exclusive coupon code for 10% off today, so that you can grab some of your supplies. And Rachel has that supply list for that upcoming class. She also has the link to sign up. Make sure if you sign up, you use my link before you sign up. Even if you're just doing a free ticket, that really helps me out. Okay, so now you can tell it's all a little bit more dull because it's got the powder on there. So let's heat that powder up, make it nice and shiny, and then we're gonna add some rainbow stamping. Okay, just pour that back in. And this is the Wow Clear Gloss Superfine. Yeah, that's fine. We're glad to have you. Oh, good, Dorothy, you have a ticket. So what I'm gonna be making, and I'll kind of try to show it to you after I heat emboss. I'll show that card again just so you know. Oh yes, so Nancy, I may be a little bit behind you, so let me put this up here. Here is what we're about to do, and it has not been heat embossed yet, and then I'll lift up that other one. Nancy was asking if I could bring it closer, so I'll lift up the other one closer to the camera too. I'm gonna let this heat up just a second. Let me lift this up closer. Here you go, Nancy. Can you see that? That's our panel that we created with our ink blending and our stencil. It's got tissue paper on the back. Did that help, Nancy? Let me know if I need to bring something else closer. And I'm just flipping it back and forth to try not to warp it too much. Okay, once you've got it, just want to make sure you got all the edges. I'll show you. Okay, so now it's nice and shiny black. You see that? If you have any dull places, keep heating it. I'm going to look at it real close just to make sure I don't need to heat anywhere else. I do actually need to heat the edge real quick. There we go. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's a large, so some of the embossing powder from WOW comes in big things like the white and the clear, and I've had this, look, it's got like maybe a third out of it. I bet I've had it for 3 years. Just big jar. Okay, now let's add some fun stuff. We're gonna still need our ink blending brushes, so hang on to those, and we're gonna need something to hold down this, but what I'm gonna show you is I'm using the stamp wheel, and you know it has a sticky mat in here. But we're going to use a large rubber stamp, and we're going to, sorry. Yeah, the thicker lines on this sentiment definitely help, especially if you're going to be stamping over it, sorry. Yeah. Yeah, Sharon says she forgets to emboss sometimes. So this wheel has a sticky mat in it. But what I've put behind it is what we're going to need to use, because the stamp that we're going to use is a large rubber thick stamp. Okay, we're going to use this really thick stamp to add all of that all the words. And this one's from Honeybee. I thought about doing this with all of the, you could do this with the Papertrey ones. I just needed to get done a little faster and went on and used this as the background because I was playing. So it's a large, thick, red rubber stamp, which means that you need to adjust, kind of like you adjust a sandwich, you need to adjust this as well. So what I have in here, I always keep this underneath, is another, it's like a Cricut mat almost, but it's sticky, and I keep its plastic here. Let's see if I can get it off so that I can still use it as a sticky mat. And they make these that fit inside the stamp wheel. Okay, so see how I have this piece of plastic over it? This is like a Cricut mat. It's like a little thin mat. So I'm gonna stick these aside and add my Make-A-Wish here, right to the center. Okay, get it nice and pressed down. And then I'm gonna add this over it and pick it up. Oops, I gotta take this other one off, hang on. And get this Make-A-Wish off. Thanks. Oh, Abigail says, what did she miss? We've been doing some rainbow ink blending. We're making a card. So if you're new, we're making this card. Here's how far we are. We have this beautiful stenciled background. We're about to add a big stamp with ink blending to our sentiment. So you got to press down to lift it up, make sure that that stayed. And then when you look at your stamp, you kind of can get an idea about where that's going to fall, but I'm just going to kind of wing it on where I'm adding my ink. We're going to start with the yellow, and we're just going to go kind of down the center like we did, and then we're going to slowly stamp this and create a rainbow stamp background. All right, so I'm going to add some yellow, and I'm just grabbing some ink and then adding to the middle of this, okay? You don't have to do a ton, but I find it easier to add ink, stamp, and then add more ink, okay? So I'm going to flip it over, put down that yellow. Whoop, didn't get it. Needed to press harder. A little bit of pressure. Need to put some more ink. I don't have enough ink there. Which might have meant I needed to add a little bit more to my thing. Okay, let's try it now. You know how it is. Sometimes things work right the first time and sometimes they don't. So y'all tell me, what is your favorite rainbow color combo? Do you use 3 colors or do you tend to go more? You see how that started? So we got yellow down the middle. I feel like I need just a little bit darker up here. So I'm going to add just a little bit more at the top, right through there, okay? And we'll stamp one more time. And then we're going to add our other colors. And you kind of want to do this while the stamp is still wet because they're going to mix better, okay? So we got our nice yellow across the center. And when you think about it, you got to decide which side you want. It's backwards. So look, boom. So you got to decide, do you want your red here or here? Just pick a spot. I'm going to go red up here. And our red that we're using is party dress. I'm going to do the same thing where I add it with this. Okay. And you may have some other ink on here, but most of it's stamped off on your project. So you don't have to worry too much, but just kind of go along the edge. Okay. Sorry if I'm bouncing. 4 to 5 colors, she says she usually uses for a rainbow. I like doing that too as well. Just sometimes it's 3 is nice and easy. Okay, let's see how we did here. And I know there's probably a tool that will put that pressure on there. Do you see how that's turning orange and red? I love that. Okay, and then just remember, you'll be able to see on your stamp where you've already put ink. So keep adding. If you want it to be darker, just keep adding a little bit more ink with your blending brush, okay? And keep stamping. So I'm going to stamp it a couple more times. Look at how beautiful that looks. Okay, let's add our blue. It's pretty easy and it's super fun. Yeah, so if you were making these balloon stencils, what colors would you use? Is there a set of colors that you like to do on balloons? Like, I think we could make this a masculine card pretty easily. We could do some blue and green balloons. I'd love to hear what colors you think those balloons would be great as, because I love using this set. Okay, so we're gonna add our blue, which is this one, along this stamp set and create that ink blending. Oh, thank you. So my nails, I have a person that does my nails at locally, and she loves like just kind of the challenge of making something fun for the camera. She's so sweet. She does such a great job. She's an artist all on her own, you know? And we have the best time together coming up with designs. So I figured I'd go festive for that. You can see that blue. I want to make it a little bit darker. Now you could just swipe this across. You're just going to get really dark colors. Teal, tan, and green for the guys. That's a great idea. Yeah, basic primary colors are nice. Yep. Yeah, I saw violet and red. Nice. That'd be good too. Okay, let's add a little bit more of that blue. See if we got it on this stamp. See, and sometimes it picks up this other one. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, I like that. So here's what we've created. Do you see how we created just some fun on the background? And it didn't bother our black at all. When it overlaps, you can see it creates orange, and it overlaps and creates the green too. So it's really nice. It's just a little addition that I love to do. So let me wipe this stamp off. Hi, Jennifer. So glad to have you. We're going to create the whole card. I'm going to set this part aside, so just kind of lift it up with my tweezers since it's on a sticky mat. Isn't that cool? So excited. Okay, so let me wipe this off and add my, as I was telling them, if you have a stamp wheel, this is a little mat that's like a Cricut mat when you're using a big red rubber stamp. And I just keep mine in the bottom so that I can see the grid through this one, and then I put it over it. Okay, so putting that back together. Oh yeah, she's adding the coupon code, so make sure you grab that. We'll do a giveaway in just a minute. And then we're going to have a replay giveaway as well. So make sure that you comment on the replay. And I will ask a question in just a little bit that we'll do. And just comment that, answer that question on the replay, and that will be your entry as well. So I'm going to clean this up really quick. And some of this I'll probably need to spray a little bit. I'm just going to spray some water on this stamp. It actually might be kind of a cool thing. Sorry. Yeah, sometimes the larger background stamps you can kind of get in the trap where you think, oh, I have to just use it for a background, but they can look real cool on other items, just creating texture, and they're super fun. Thanks, Abigail. All right. And if you haven't done it yet, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I will have in the description today some more, a link to the live stream we did a couple weeks ago that showed more Papertrey stuff. We did a lot of Valentine's cards, and I think we did one birthday card in that one. But if you need any Valentine's ideas, that's a really fun one. Okay, so I'm going to put this back in its container over here. And then we will move on to putting this card together. And then we're going to play with some foil paper. So if you haven't used foil paper before, it can be a little bit of a challenge. And so we're going to use that today too. So here's what we got so far. Doesn't that look nice? But we're going to make it look even cuter. I'm going to add some ribbon, and I'm going to add a mat to it as well. So I don't know where this came from. This is just my yellow ribbon jar. So I'm just going to grab a little bit of this, and I want to show y'all how it fits into this label. So let me make sure it's not in too big of a knot here. It's just a fuzzy ribbon. Just kind of like a fuzzy ribbon. And it's yellow, which is nice. So let me get this out of the way. And we're going to thread it through because this has a little opening that you can thread through. So it takes a little bit of work, but you can lift that up, see? And then pull your piece through. You see? And then pull it back through. It'd be fine if you actually did like a thread of a needle. That would be okay. But I just use my fingers, and sometimes I use tweezers if I can't get it. So you can always get tweezers, pull it out this way. Okay, and then you can pull your thread through and adjust it. I did it a couple times because I thought it would look cute doing it twice. So let me get some scissors. Yeah, thank you guys. Okay, so we'll cut here, my huge scissors. And we're going to do one more layer, and then I'm going to show you how to kind of make them stay like this, because we're going to add some foam tape and kind of keep them in their lane where they're supposed to go. So let's do another one and follow that same pattern where I go over the edge and behind. Okay. I love that Papertrey dies do this. A lot of them have a place to put a ribbon like this, which is really cute. And just unexpected. You just don't see that very often. It's really nice. It's a nice little detail. All right, so now we've got it on both sides like this. I'm going to add some foam tape in between, and then we will put it on this card. Let me see what kind of foam tape we got here. Here we go. Huge thing of foam tape today. Let me trim this off. Okay, and then you can set your extra piece aside to use another time. But we're going to put some foam tape, and see how it's just a little bit warped because I heat embossed it? I'm going to use that foam tape to hold it down, okay? Oh, there's definitely a replay. So somebody said they're late to the party. There's definitely a replay, no worries. It will be out, and there's a replay giveaway, so don't miss that. So are y'all, tell me also, do you lean bold colors or do you lean light, subtle colors? I'd love to hear kind of what your preference is. Okay, I'm going to put this right in the middle, just to kind of separate those two so that the card stays the way that it's supposed to. I'm going to try to keep it nice and flat, and then we'll do a couple more pieces. And then our next card is going to be a bright blue. I feel like it's a perfect for if you want to use like fancy papers and you want a more masculine look. It's a really nice one. I took a die set from Papertrey called Cake Builder, and I used it more like a masculine card. Even though it's like a stitching die, we're going to use it more like a masculine card. So we'll have some fun with that one in just a second. Sorry. Okay, bold color. Depends on the occasion. Yeah, bold colors, Charlene says. I think y'all could probably guess what mine is. I tend to be a little bit more bold too, but I do enjoy a nice subtle card too. Okay, so now we've got all of this here. We can add around the edges. So I'm going to line this up, and then we'll put a mat around it too. We'll go ahead and take our double-sided adhesive cover off. Pastels. Awesome. And so I will say one of my favorite ways to use die cuts are these labels. I love like this because you can just put a card together pretty easily and have this. Sorry, I'm trying to line it up, not move it. I think I'm gonna add just a little bit of glue just to make sure I've got some movement here in case I'm off center. Okay, and then I'm gonna just eyeball it. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I've never stitched on Cake Builder either, and I kind of like it not stitched. I just like the little holes. It looks cool. So that's where we're going next is this Cake Builder. Okay, so if you have that and you want to get it out, feel free. We're going to go there, and then I'm going to show you more rainbow stuff too. Let's go with some double-sided adhesive to hold these little pieces down. You could do this with whatever you want to do. I'm going to use a couple double-sided adhesives just to hold them down where I want them. And you don't have to cut them that long either. Okay, there we go. And then we'll do this side. I'm going to trim those just a little bit so they don't overlap. Thank you, that's fun. Oh, hey, Reva. I'm glad you're here. Even if it's late, you can watch the replay. Nice. Oh, good, Frida. I'm so glad you're loving it. It is so fun. I am having lots of fun with them. Okay, so you can adjust these little edges if you need to, but this is your card. I did add a backing to it. You'll see on my other one. And on this one, I did stamp just a little bit darker. You know, you could add more. Like I said, I've done ink blending with these a few times, and so I'm betting that my Catherine Pooler needs to be re-inked, and that's why we got a lighter version versus a darker version on the previous one. And you see, I told you you could wrap around. So I did bring some blue in this one to get a little bit of purple, and I brought some red down in the bottom on this one. But each one turns out a little bit different. Okay, let me dab my nose. Okay. Yeah. So look at how cute that looks. So the backing of this one is yellow. Let me find it in here. I've already cut it. And look how this looks with it. Nice, huh? I just picked a coordinating color, but I just love that little addition to it. So I'm going to add that. I think I will probably do, since these stick up a little bit, you could go foam tape. I think I actually might go foam tape just to give that a little bit of space. So let me put some foam tape on the back. I'm going to use some scraps. I have this whole thing of foam tape scraps, so that's what I'm going to use. Thank you. You like that? Cat Scrapper says she likes that added blue that makes it turn. So I'm going to do some foam tape. These are little ones that I've had, and they're just scraps off of other pieces of foam. And we'll just put a couple of those there, maybe two more. That one fit? Yeah. Just to build up the back of the card a little bit. Thank you, Bo. So have you tried doing ink blending on matte paper versus shiny paper? I'd love to hear what your experience is with it and if you've tried it out or not. I would call this more of a matte type paper. It has a shiny part to it, but it's kind of matte, so it's a little bit different on how you ink blend it. Okay. All right, there we go. Yeah, lots of purple for Reva. Yeah, that would be really nice. It would be nice to have. I thought about doing an entire one in purple, all different shades of purple, like purples and pinks. Oh, nice. To me, birthday cards, it's just so fun to have like happy birthday cards. You know, they're like not just the sentiment happy birthday, but like they actually make you feel happy. So Sharon, yes, the coupon code, she can pop it up again. It's 10% off at Papertrey Ink this weekend. And it's part of it's to help you get your supplies for the Cardmaker Success Summit, which I'm using Papertrey products for. So I'm teaching in a whole class on a fun fold with a spinner. And we are going to have lots of fun with Papertrey products. I'll show that card in just a second once I get this one on. And Rachel, if you could pop in the chat where they sign up for Cardmaker Success and the links to the supplies so that they can check out what they might need if they decide they want to join that class. Sorry, I'm going to have to put my head over this. So sorry, I'm going to have to look at the top of my head for just a second. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to hold it up. Yay, Deborah, I'm glad you're coming. That's awesome. That is awesome. I have been crazy busy with classes lately. I don't know how many of you, tell me like do a little thumbs up if you were at the card making with your card making stash or with your stash summit. That was last weekend. I did a lot of things for that. We had lots of fun with embossing folders. Look at this card. Is that not adorable? Oh my goodness. Can y'all see it okay? So fun. Oh my goodness, so fun. So fun with ink blending. On our next one, let's wrap it around and we'll add that, you know, since y'all like having the purple and having a little bit down here, we'll wrap it around on those other balloons so I can show you how that process works. But here is card number 1, okay? Let me show you the card we're making at the Cardmaker Success Summit. It's this Z-fold card, so stay tuned. We'll be making this. This is all Papertrey products. That is a spinner. And look at this pretty paper they have too. Oh, so fun. They have great birthday products. So if you need some birthday products, get some stuff from Papertrey. And this supply list will be in the chat. Rachel just put it in there, and then you also have the coupon code this weekend too. So 10% off the store. It's really exciting. Okay, so here's the difference in these two cards. What we were saying, we wrapped around with purple on the original. You see how I did that? We'll do that on our next one. And I did a little bit lighter on this stamp here, and that's probably just because my inks are needing a little bit of a refill. So yes, can I hold the original one up as well? Oh, you want me to hold this one up. This one? Let me hold that up. Okay. And it's double-sided pattern paper. Boop. Okay. Oh, good. I'm glad somebody saw the last summit. So these are the two cards. This one's one I did originally. This is what we just created. Super fun with those rainbow. So we did rainbow stamping, we did rainbow stenciling, and now we're going to look at some foil paper, and then we're going to come back to the rainbow, and I'm going to do it on the other side of the paper, which is even more matte, and it looks different on that paper. So I'm going to show you that as well. But let's get some things ready for this next card. We're going to make this is a foil paper, and I'm going to show you some fun ways to use that as well. Okay? Yeah, that's a cool fun fold card. So let me leave these here while I get things together. Here, I'll leave this one out too, because this one we showed earlier. This one we haven't made yet, but it's just a cute one if y'all need some inspiration while I grab the other supplies. Let me answer questions. Oh, thank you, Carmen. That's so sweet. Thank you. Okay. so next we are going to use a cover plate die with foil paper. So I'm going to be using this Papertrey handmade quilt, okay? And I just want you to not be scared to use things like this with foil paper. Sometimes foil paper scares people, and you don't need to be worried. So we're going to grab our foil paper, which I've put in here in some protection. And this is what it looks like. So it's real shiny on one side, and it's just plain on the other side, okay? So we're going to cut into that. We're also going to add some fun gold details, and then we will play with, hang on one second, what's called in stitches cake builder. It looks like this. It would also work great if you have this Papertrey build a party hat. I love build a party hat. It's one of my favorite dies. But I decided I wanted to use this cake one. And so we're going to use this cake builder for this, and we're going to use some more specialty paper on it just to make it excessively sparkly and super fun. Oh, good, thanks. Reba said she has been using her embossing folders more. So you could do this same thing with an embossing folder, but we're going to use a die. This is called a cover plate die, and it cuts this pattern into it. Okay, so see if you can get that. Just cuts this nice stitched pattern. So let me show you how that works, and we're going to build a few things. Let me see if this one is thick enough. I have to use my larger plates. So I do the regular sandwich with this paper, and here we go. I need to dust it off. I keep getting little, you can tell that it is definitely, you can see my camera up there. It's so bright you can see the camera. Okay, so we're going to put this over it, and this is just the die, handmade quilt, and I'm just attaching it. We're going to run it through the die cutting machine. Okay, let's see if we got any questions. Yeah, metallic. Nice. Oh, we're glad to have you, Patrice. Okay, look at how different this looks. It makes me so excited. I don't know why. This is like one of those reveals when you look at what your die cut looks like and you get so excited. Let me see if it needs any extra pressure. Here we go. Look at that. Doesn't that look awesome? Such an easy thing. This is foil paper. Okay, so if you have really glossy paper, this would work on it. It's not foil that I did for my foil machine. It's an actual paper that's foil. Yes, so Debbie is asking, is the paper you used on your card for the summit from Papertrey? Yes, did I not put that in that supply list? Yes, the pattern paper is. The glitter paper is from your Paper Insider. It's a pink glitter paper, which is where this paper's from too. Okay, so I just love it. I mean, you could just leave it that way if you want to, but I want to show you a little trick that I did that I thought was awesome. You know, I get excited. Can't help myself. So this is called handmade quilt. I'm putting it in here. This is how I store dies. So I've got other cover plates in there too, and I just label them at the top. All right, so it does want to bend up a little bit because it is that foil paper, but we'll take care of that with some foam later. Okay, so let me show you what I did. I am going to, and you may have seen this on a reel today, so if you did, just hang in there. This is definitely on Instagram today because it's just so fun. And since this wants to kind of pop up, you could always use a smidge of tape on the edges just to hold it flat, which you may need to if you're going to do some splatter. So just a teeny smidge, and I'm going to use this yellow if you need to, or you can add some double-sided adhesive to the back, but I'm going to do just a teeny little bit on these edges just to hold it a little flatter because it does want to bend up a little bit. And you see how I just like barely even put it on there, but just to hold it flat. And then we're going to use some foundry wax, but you could use all kinds of things. I thought about trying out the spritz on it as well. The spritz that I used on that other card. We could try it, but I'd like to, yeah, I might try it in a second. Let me see. I'm not sure what Cat Scrapper's talking about. Sorry, I don't know what that question is. Okay. This is what we're going to use, okay? And I am going to mix it. I learned this from Tiffany Slaughter. I'm going to mix it with some alcohol just so I can splatter it. What this stuff is, it's a wax, and you do have to heat it up to get it to be nice and sparkly. So when I first put it on, it's going to look dull. So we're going to have to add just a little bit of heat to it, but it's a really nice product that's kind of fun to use, and I thought it'd be fun to just play with it. It's called Foundry Wax, and it's gilded. It does need to be shaken up, so I'm going to sit here and shake it up for a second. Let me see. So are y'all fans of foam tape, or do you try to keep your cards pretty flat? Tell me what if you use it at all. Okay, sorry, making lots of noise. Okay, so I saw something about attaching vellum too. Let me see if I can see that question. Okay, so sorry, that was a question. What is your best advice for attaching vellum to the front of the card, like over this foil? Couple of things. My best advice would be to have something on the vellum that hides your glue dot or your double-sided adhesive. If you don't have something big enough like that, then my other suggestion is consider using, there are some tape runners that will work, and those tape runners, there's some that are made specifically for vellum, but let me see if I have a piece of vellum and I could try to show you. I love to use like on an edge of something, I love to use like a little diamond or a little gem or something like that that kind of covers up a glue dot that I could put. So yeah, Beth says she loves to use 1 and 2 millimeter foam tape. Yes, I don't really see much of the use for the 3 millimeter unless you just really want really tall cards, but yeah. I'm also going to show y'all a little trick that I've learned with this as well that I got off of Amazon. Let's see if I can find it. These are like, they're Post-it notes, but they're like they're almost like vellum. Like I think you could possibly use them like vellum. And I like to do it when I'm going to do something messy on my mat that's going to take me a while to clean off. It's nice to just throw it down there. You could use a piece of scrap plastic, but these are just little Post-it notes that I found. Yeah. I know. How did the camera do that? I don't know. Is it back to normal, Rachel? I saw it briefly decide it's changing position. Okay, so we're going to add some of this. Yeah, sometimes technology just does what it wants to do, doesn't it? Okay, so we're going to put some of this gold right here. And I'm going to add just a little bit of alcohol. And that's because this stuff dries pretty fast. And so, hang on. So adding a little alcohol to it gives you a little bit more time, which of course I'm adding alcohol everywhere, to do some splatter with it. Okay, so it helps me mix better. It's back to normal. Okay, thanks, Beth. Sorry, I don't know what happened. Who knows? Might actually need just a little bit more of this. But the alcohol helps me use just a little bit more and have more time with it because this is not something that normally you can splatter. So let's start making some splatters. And you're going to see they look gold, but they're going to look way more gold when we add the heat, okay? And I'm doing some bigger splatters because we are on camera. If you want lighter splatters, you could do it over your finger or you could do it on an acrylic block. But I'm going to go with this for now. Now these are wet and they're going to stay wet until we heat them up, okay? So let me show you. Take all these little pieces of tape. Yeah, I like using foam tape as well. Oh, thanks, Bo. Yeah, Rachel, my camera, all my tech has a mind of its own, doesn't it? Just like, whatever. We're just going to do whatever. Okay, so let me try to show it to you before we heat it. I mean, it's still gold, but I'm going to try to show you as I heat it. I may even try to hold it up to the camera. and I will add that for a second. Let me spray this and wipe this off just a little bit. So ideally, you would want to get your brush clean because this wax will dry in your brush. So I'm just using a thing. It's got so much alcohol in it that all the stuff kind of comes off of your brush. But the alcohol is supposed to help it be thinner because this is like a thick stuff and it dries super fast. So the alcohol gives me more time with it. Then when I'm done with this, I can just peel it off my mat. You could do this with a piece of plastic, and I don't know if you could tell, there it goes again. It's doing it again. Just a blink of just hi. So right here, it's still a little wet, but it's starting to dry. So that's why I put it on there. Sorry. Okay, here we go. So I'm gonna wipe this off a little bit too. And you can use just a rag, whatever. You just wanna get that gold off of your mat because the gold will dry. So let me just do that really quick. Whoop, as I shake the table. Okay, and then we're gonna add some heat. So the other way you could do this would be a little bit more difficult, I think, but you could do this as a heat embossing. But this wax is kind of like getting to use gold heat embossing without having to get the powder out. So I'm gonna heat this up and I'm gonna try to show you how it looks up close. So I may hold it up closer to the thing. Sorry, closer to the camera. I know, I get just as surprised as y'all do to see my face up on the camera. I'm like, what is it doing? What happened? Okay, so let me get this a little hot. Just getting my heat gun good and hot, and then we're gonna hold it up. As much as I can. Actually, my cord won't go too far, but and then I'm gonna just heat these little areas, and I'm doing it quickly. It does not take much, and it starts becoming shinier. So doing it quickly makes it just more of a shiny, and it makes it stay on there. It does warp the paper. That's why you want to be quick. Quick, quick, quick. I don't know if y'all can tell that it got brighter or not, but it did. Okay, so my paper's a little bit warped, but I've got nice gold splatters that stay on. You see how they're a little bit brighter now once you heat them up? And now they don't move. So now you can touch it and it's not gonna come off. It's really fun. So that's super fun. That's gonna be our background for that second card. We need to do some die cutting. So we'll do some die cutting. We'll set this aside, just set it somewhere where you're not, so since this is raised up, I bet you could scrape it off with your fingernail, but it doesn't come off when I touch it. So it's kind of nice. And that's foundry wax. This is the color that we use, called Gilded. Is that fun? So just something fun you can do with this shiny paper. I often struggle with shiny paper, and I'm always looking for new ways to use it and new ways to do all of that. So, okay, let's get our birthday cake dies out. I'm gonna set this aside so I don't mess it up. I'm gonna set it back here with these finished cards so that we've got them out of the way. And we're gonna use some more paper from here. I'm gonna use a slick paper. Can you tell that's shiny? So we're gonna use another slick paper, and I'm gonna show you something I discovered with that. And then we're gonna use a really, really thick gold paper. Okay, so thick that I'll show you the tips on that one. This one is not gonna cut all the way, but it gets most of it. Yeah, it's nice that it doesn't smear, that's for sure. And I actually was kind of shocked that this didn't smear either. So we're gonna do a few die cuts, not too many, just a few. We're gonna do the cake icing right here. Sorry, let me put it where you can see it. Cake icing, the body of the cake. I'm gonna do a few candles, and let's do a little bit of trim. This is just some trim, okay? So we're gonna cut out a few things and we'll get that ready. And this is all from the Papertrey Cake Builder. It's called Cake Builder. So the main part of the cake is going to be this off-white shiny, and so are the candles. So we'll cut both of these out of here. Send them through the die cutting machine. See if I can catch up. I'm just going to, I know this is enough to cut out the 3 candles, so I'm going to take this little cube here, put it in, because I'm going to do 3 candles. And we'll do here, and then we're going to do one more rainbow card after this. Let's see where we are on our time. Oh yeah, let's definitely, okay, here is my question for you, and I'm going to show you the difference, and I want y'all to pick. And the question answer is going to be your entry into the giveaway live, and then if you comment the same thing on the replay, it'll be your entry. Yeah, they do have great florals as well. So let's go here. I will put this here. So okay, so the answer that you need, let's get me arranged here. Let me send this through the die cutting machine, then I'll show you. Okay, and this is going to be for the giveaway. So Julie, hopefully you're out there, because once I have people answer this question, you'll pick the winner. And our giveaway is for a $50 gift card to Papertrey Ink. Okay, so here's how I'm going to ask it, and I'm going to show these here so that you can vote. Okay, we're going to vote. I want you to vote which card you are going to try first. 1, 2, or 3. Put that in the chat, and then Julie can draw a winner for the live giveaway. 1, 2, 3. So tell me 1, 2, or 3 in the chat. And as you do that, we'll let those roll in, and then Papertrey can pick a winner for the live for the $50 gift card to Papertrey. Okay, 1, 2, or 3. Okay, I see card 1. These are, what are you going to try? What is the thing you're taking away from here that you're like, I'm going to try that out, see if I can do it? 1, 2, or 3. Okay, I see 1, I see 3. Yep. We're going to do 3 as well. So let's get these die cuts taken care of. I'll keep die cutting while you're throwing in your answers. See number 1. I love number 1. It just makes me happy. Okay, so we got all these little dots here. You just got to get those out. And then I'm going to cut 3 of these candles. So I need to send this through a couple more times. I'll do that while y'all are voting. I see a lot of 1s. Card 3. Okay, good. See card 2. Okay, nice. We got some takers on the bright blue one. Okay. Here's another one. And here's one. One followed by 3. Good. So lots of rainbows. Good. I love that y'all love rainbows. I think rainbow ink blending is just so fun. I mean, it's just something that, like, I don't know. It's kind of magical. So I'm getting all these dots off. And then we're going to start cutting this gold. This gold piece of paper is so thick that if I put enough pressure to completely cut it, it wrinkles the paper. So I'm going to make the outline and do a little bit of fussy cutting on it. And then we're going to do some more rainbow ink blending with that 3rd card. So which one seemed to be the one? I feel like number 1 has won so far. Is that right? So if you got your vote in for something else, vote in. And then Julie, are you out there to pick the winner? Let's hope so. If she's not, Rachel, then you can grab it. All right, lots of dots. Now for this one, like I said, we're going to have to do just a little bit of fussy cutting. So this paper is super thick, and it's double-sided gold. So it's a good one, like if you're going to do a tag. Okay, good, good. Julie, would you pick the winner for us? Somebody who answered 1, 2, or 3. Okay. Okay, let me show you this gold paper. So we're gonna have to kind of go around the gold paper. Pretty easy to do with our scissors. Let me get all these dies out of the way so we don't lose them. Sometimes got to clean up my space here. Okay, let's see. So tell me who won, Julie, when you pick a winner. And replay, do the same thing. Come in and replay. You can answer this question as well. I'd love for you to chat about anything you want in the replay. I look at all those comments. So if y'all have a question later, feel free to pop in the replay and I will answer those questions. Usually by the end of the day, sometimes it takes me a day or two to get to all of them, but I do like to answer comments as I can. So I'm following this line and I'm going around it because I picked this really thick gold paper and it is just really difficult to die cut. So I am following some fussy cutting. Okay, it looks like Gina, I'm looking. Oh no. Oh no, Sharon, your mouse, right when you were about to enter the answer. Oh no. Well, it looks like Gina is our winner. Gina, I can't pronounce all that. Okay, so yeah, so they're popping it up. So Gina, are you there? Do you see it? If so, you need to email Papertrey Ink. Papertrey, would you pop your email address down there for them? So Rachel says, could I use a shim? Yes, I could use a shim, but when I did that with these, I really got a lot of wrinkling. I don't know if it's what the coating of the paper was, but this specific paper was really wrinkling up when I used an extra shim. So I just decided it was better to make the impression and fussy cut around it because it cuts most of it, but not all the way. So I just ended up fussy cutting. Oh no, Frida says she's driving. Frida, make sure you enter on the replay too, okay? Sorry about that. If you're driving, don't enter into the giveaway. Sorry about that. And if you're driving, I mean, don't enter the live one. Just enter the replay. We're giving away another one there. So this specific paper is why I'm fussy cutting. Not because the die doesn't cut, but because this paper is so thick. But I had already committed to using it when I tried it out. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try this. And I'm just gonna fussy cut along this little edge. It is a great one for like making a tag because it's got both sides that are gold. But it is a booger to cut. Because it just, no matter what I did, it was causing problems with the paper if you try to die cut with too much pressure. And you could use glitter, you could use not gold, you could use all different colors. So I just wanted to make kind of a blue and gold birthday card because that's my kids' school colors, and two, it's a little bit more masculine and I can still use some sparkly stuff, but I can get away with it being a teenager card. So I kind of went with like simple colors for this one, and that's why I was using this gold. So there we go. That's fussy cut. And you can always save these little pieces for other things if you want. And then we're going to put this card together. I'm just going to glue this on the top, and I'm actually going to use these little pieces. So with this set, it does have a little thing that does the flame right here, but I knew I was going to have to fussy cut it anyway, so I went on and just fussy cut 3 flames too. So I just kind of went and free-handed it and just cut some flames because I knew I was going to have to cut them out anyway, so I didn't use the die. But that's just a thing from this paper. So I just kind of went around. They're not all going to be perfect or the exact same, but it works. So you always got the option to fussy cut some little detail if you need to. So these are going to be my flames on my candles. So yeah, Gina was our winner. She's sending supply list. Thank you, Rachel. And let's get this put together, and we're gonna put it on that blue background. So, you know, I said that this was a little bit warped. So we're gonna wanna make this straight before we start putting things on it, and we will do that. The other thing with this one is that it has these little stitching holes, and most of them are gonna be covered up. Okay, so I'm not even going to punch out any of these holes down here because I'm going to cover them up like this. Okay, so don't worry about the punching all that out if you want everything to look the same because you're about to cover it up. Okay, let me add a little bit of double-sided adhesive, which I need to find, sorry. Let's see how we're doing. What brand are your scissors? These are Tim Holtz. Tim Holtz scissors. These are the big ones. Also from Tim Holtz. Okay. So I'm going to use a double-sided adhesive on this because it's a real firm piece of paper, and just because glue just didn't hold it down well. I tried it with glue and I thought I need something a little bit thicker. So I'm going to use some double-sided adhesive on this part and on this part. Might have to go skinnier. Okay, I'm going to use my skinnier one on this one. Okay. Nice. She said she's going to try one of those for her grandson. Turning 15. I've got a kid who'll be turning 15 soon too. So I'm going to put that gold part on the bottom, put the gold part on the top, and then we'll make this background that we created with the beautiful blue foil. We'll make that flat and put the rest of this card together. I stamped directly on my cake, and I know that's sometimes scary if it's a paper that is shiny like this, but if you let it dry long enough, usually it works out, and I was surprised. It worked fine with just regular black ink. So let me add this on there. We'll stamp it. Look at how simple that is, but how beautiful it looks. So nice. Get our little cute cake. Okay, so we'll stamp directly on our little cake, and then we're going to put it on our background. So I'm going to use that same set that we used earlier. We're going to use Birthday Your Way, and I'm going to use the one that just says Happy Birthday right here. So we'll put Happy Birthday, fits really well on the cake, and let's try that. So we'll put this on our stamp wheel. Just add a quick black stamp. Now, I did use a little bit of tape to hold this down because you need to be very precise with your stamping here because it is a slick surface, and if it slides, it's going to smear it. Okay, so we're going to do our Happy Birthday stamp. Okay. See how that wants to lift up? Gotta hold on. I think I need one more. Look at that, y'all. My hair is just falling out everywhere here. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's do Happy Birthday on it. If you are just joining in, make sure you say hi in the chat. See a piece of fuzz there. So I'm just using regular black ink. Okay, and we're gonna stamp it. And just be careful not to move it. Use your stamping thing. There we go. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to try to double stamp or anything like that because it does take it a minute to dry. Here's our cute little. And if you look at that cute little birthday cake. Okay, let's get our other part ready so that we can add the birthday cake onto our card. So I'm going to use some foam tape to make this panel flat. Thank you. And y'all make sure if you hadn't done it yet, hit the thumbs up if you're here. Make sure you've subscribed to my channel. And that just hitting the thumbs up helps people find it, okay? So if you, I'm sure that, okay, so Rachel's checking, has anybody tried to use the code yet and did it do okay? If anybody's tried to use it yet, let us know that it's working. The code is Nicki2626, and that's just this weekend. Okay, I'm just kind of making sure I got this nice and flat. Okay, now we got a flat back for our card. So we can start putting on our cute little birthday pieces. And then that's all this card is. It's super simple. I think it'd be great for a masculine card. That sounds great. So we're gonna add some double-sided adhesive to these so that I can put them on. These are my little candles. And then I cut out those as my topper. Oh, good, good. I think that's Frida. She did not text while she was driving. She said she wanted to make sure we knew that, but she was driving, so she didn't get to answer for the giveaway. Alrighty, so I've got some double-sided adhesive on those. I am going to do double-sided adhesive on the back of this, but I'm still being careful because this may be a little bit wet. I'm actually going to use my heat gun and just dry it a little bit. Hopefully that ink will dry. And I'm going to grab a piece of double-sided adhesive to put on the back. I'll just use this. So Deborah said, I'm sorry, if y'all can answer Frida and Deborah in the chat, I'm not exactly sure what they're saying. I think they might have missed the time for the giveaway. So has anybody tried using die cuts with fancy paper like this? Sometimes it's a little bit of a work in progress, you know, because you don't know how the paper is going to react. If it's a different than normal paper, it's not made for that basically. That's like this gold one that we had to end up fussy cutting. Okay, so we're going to put our happy birthday on right here. And then we're going to do a little bit more ink blending. And this has a little space that I can tuck my little candles in, which is nice. Look at this. Yeah, so yeah, if you missed this giveaway, go to the replay and make sure you comment there. We're going to add our little candles here. I'm going to lift this up just a little bit and put my candle in there, because I only put tape on the back right here, so it's easy to lift these up and add. And next we're going to do one more rainbow ink blended card, and that one's going to be on a more matte side of the paper, not as slick, and we'll look at some different ways to ink blend that. The nice thing about this cover die is it's got vertical lines, so it kind of helps you with your placement of this. Yes, I did, Frida. That the double-sided gold paper is from your Paper Insider. This live stream is kind of a continuation of our last live stream. I'd made way too many cards, and all of them were with Papertrey. So I'm using some Box 14 products, but I'm using Papertrey dies and their products to create some fun happy birthday cards. We're using their dies, their stencils, their stamps, all of that stuff. But yes, the background paper is from, I think I'm going to do a dot of glue on these. We'll see, just a teeny dot to make our little flames. And then this card is finished. Woo, woo. Oh yes, that's all right if you're joining us late. There will be a replay. And I'm just going to add, let's see if I can pick these up. Add these to the top of my candles. And I just put like a little dot of glue there. And no, they're not perfect flames because they're not die cut from the set, but they work fine. So they're all slightly different size, but that looks cute. Okay, make sure we got it all down. So this card is done. We've done 2 cards, yay! Tell me if you have any foil paper like this, and if you do, tell me what colors you have. I'd love to hear what kind you might try out, and if you've got any of this foil or glossy paper. Okay, so Tina says she's having an error. Okay, so Papertrey will get on that, I'm sure, Rachel. Something's with the code. Okay, so we made this one. Now we're gonna work on this other card. And this one will be pretty fast, okay? But I wanna show you some tips because this is a more matte look. So it's that same paper, but it's the back side of it. So very matte, a little hard to blend on, but we're gonna do it, okay? So let me find this piece of paper. So we got this piece of paper. We're gonna use the other one of the balloon stencils. Okay, we're gonna use that one. And we're gonna create another rainbow card. So let me get that all set up. Hi, everybody. Ooh, gold, blue hologram. Ooh, silver blue hologram. That'd be nice. That gold shiny cardstock would look good on that cake. Kind of like your blue, okay. So I'm gonna put this one down. Like I said, this is that same tissue paper. This is the one we glued at the beginning. This is the back side, which is even rougher. So whether you have glossy tissue paper or rough tissue paper, you can still do this ink blending. It just takes a little different technique. Okay, so we're gonna use this. This is called Balloon Party from Papertrey Ink. And I'm just gonna try to line it up on the paper, and then I'm gonna really tape it down because blending on paper that's a little bit rougher can be difficult, okay? So I wanna make sure I've got my stencil good and stationary, so there will be some tape. Even though I'm using a sticky mat, there's just not a lot of the stencil that hangs off, so I wanna be extra sure and add some tape to it. I don't know where all my blue tapes went, but they're likely stuck to me somewhere. Okay, so Papertrey said the coupon code should be working now. If somebody tests that, will you let me know? Okay, with this card, we're gonna do kind of the same pattern of blending. We're gonna use the same colors, unless y'all want me to try something different, but I think we're gonna just do the same colors and I'm gonna add some extra to it to get different colors. Last time we came up with red, orange, yellow, green, and blue. This time we're gonna add some purples, okay? Oh, good. Okay, so Debbie says it did work for her. So it looks like we got the coupon code working. It's Nicki 2626 and it's 10% off of your order from Papertrey. This weekend only, ends Monday night at 11:59. If you aren't on my newsletter, make sure you're on my newsletter. Even if you miss a live, if I've got an exclusive coupon, I will send that out to you at some point during the weekend so that you don't miss it, even if you can't attend the live or the replay. I have to have a sip. Okay, We're gonna get started with the yellow again. Now for this one, it's a little bit smaller. So you want to be a little bit more careful with your ink blending. This takes up smaller areas. So we're gonna kind of come in and really keep it confined. I'm gonna use some smaller brushes too and make sure that I get those edges here. I think I'm gonna add just a little bit more tape too because I feel like this bottom edge could be problematic here. I'm gonna give it a couple. I'm gonna be real secure on the tape here. All right, so tell me, are y'all crafting this weekend? You got big plans for the weekend? I would love to hear what you're working on. And if you recreate one of these cards, make sure you tag me on social media. I'd love to hear from you. You see how I'm dabbing off my ink here? I'm just coming in very lightly, and we're gonna kind of do that same diagonal with the yellow. It really takes it off your brush. It's a little bit harder to blend on this this paper is a little bit more rough. And so you really have to go in light or you're gonna have, unless you just want it to be super dark, but I think light makes it blend easier. And I'm trying to keep it about the width of this with the darker color. And then I'm going to pull in our blues and pinks. Okay, so we got here. And you can be most free with your yellow because you know you're going to blend it in. So I'm just going to add a little bit out into these balloons so that they will hopefully change into some different colors. So just kind of scraping it out. Remember, we can always add extra color if we need to. May add just a smidge more. Right down the middle. And so really it's more about just carefully placing it versus it blending into each other. These colors are you kind of have to think how they're stacking. Yes, the stencil is out of stock now. Yeah, good. Oh, yes. So somebody said they plan on doing a good bit of crafting this weekend. Me too. I am going to get caught up, and I wanted to tell you too, coming up on my channel, if you're new, if you're advanced, either way, I am creating a massive video. I do this a few times a year where I kind of do a mashup of all of the best techniques of the year. And so the one coming out next Friday is on heat embossing. So if you've ever wanted to think about ways to use heat embossing or you're new to it, you definitely want to check that video out. It'll be out next Friday at 11 a.m. and it's going to have lots and lots of fun stuff in it. So we've got our yellow laid down. Now we're going with blue. These ink pads, oh, so Papertrey ink pads, are they felt or foam? I believe they are felt. Am I right on that, Julie? I just got some new colors of Papertrey and haven't gotten to, I had already made this card, so I hadn't gotten to use them yet. Okay, we're gonna bring in a lot of blue because we're gonna also add some purple to this. So just kind of coming from the edge, adding the blue down here, and you can, go any pattern you want. I just kind of kept the two cards similar. Okay, so now I'm going to pull some blue up because we're going to need it to mix with that yellow. And do you see how it's like it gets stuck to the paper, but it's not like a super blend. I don't know how to say that, but it's this paper just like absorbs the ink. So you have to kind of adjust how you're doing it, which is why I'm kind of flicking it up like this so that I can get those colors together. And I'm definitely getting a lot more blue in the bottom because I want to come in and create even purple in that area too. So, okay, so we got a couple colors here. I still may come back with that yellow and just kind of take it down in here to make sure we got some green. So we're mixing our blues and yellows to create green. And you can always go right along them with those two brushes. You really don't even have to put ink on them and get that nice blend. You see how we got our green there? I do think I need a little bit more blue in this corner. But it is harder to get the colors as dark on this more rough paper. Okay, let's come in with our pink. We're going to use Party Dress. Oh, that's cool. Tina says she's working on some 3D Easter decor. That's cool to give out work. If y'all didn't see last year, I kind of started um, live streams around this time. I guess it was probably more than a year ago, but with the Easter release from Papertrey last time, we did some really, really fun cards. They're some of my favorite cards of the year. So if you are interested or need some Easter inspiration right now, that is a good place to go. They have some great, they have a really big like stencil that's a cross. They have this cute little lamb that I used. They have a lot of really cool hot foil plates. I'm sure there's plenty more that I don't know about, Julie, but that is really, really a fun set. And like we were saying, sometimes it's hard to find Bible verses and things like that on stamps and such, especially you need those for Easter. So I'm going to try to go over that yellow a little bit, just make sure it looks a little orangey. How's that going? Looking pretty good. So this kind of paper, this rough paper, is more about placing the ink. You're trying to blend it, but it doesn't blend a whole lot. It's more about like where you put the ink over each other. I know that seems a little strange, but it really makes a difference. Now I'm going to take a smaller brush, a little teeny brush, and I'm going to make this purple by coming in with blue, and then I'm going to do a pink one right here. Okay, so we're going to come in with our blue to create a purple edge on this, which we didn't do on our last one, but I did on the original, and so people are wanting to see. So I would say take a smaller brush, and especially on this type of paper, I'm just touching along the edges, okay? Because I got to decide how much purple I want. So just a little bit, because you don't want to cover up all your pink either. And it just gives the nice little edge that that rainbow is wrapping around. You see how that's turning purple along that edge? Yeah, y'all do have so many fun card classes. And I see somebody mentioning they really like the card for the Cardmaker Success Summit. I am using all Papertrey products in my Cardmaker Success Summit video. They do have a free option, they have a paid option, and I think that y'all would love that class. So make sure you get signed up. It doesn't cost you anything to sign up. And Rachel will put that link in there for you. Let's see what else. And you know, always you can find the supply list. If you get through this and you're like, I did not see that supply list in the chat, you can always find the supply list in the description or in the pinned comment. Sometimes it will take me just a minute or two to get it in to that pinned comment when this goes as a replay. So just give me a couple minutes, but I will always get you the supply list. I'll put the coupon code there. We'll do all that. So we want to add a little bit of pink right here, and I do not have my small pink brush, so I'm going to be very careful and use this. I'm actually not going to add any ink to it at all, and I'm just going to come along here and see if I can make a little purple edge. So it's like our little rainbow is wrapping around. You see that? It looks cute. I might actually do just a little bit more. But that's just whatever's left on my brush. So remember, you can always just kind of come in lightly and see what you think. Oh, that looks cool. Are y'all ready to see the reveal of this one? I think this is going to be awesome. Okay, tell me, when I reveal this, tell me, are you team purple, like making the purple, or you like the wraparound that we did last time and not adding the purple? Here we go. Let's see what we think. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Isn't that cute? So cute. Okay. So one thing I did with this, I tried out, and I don't know if I'll do it with this card or not. I'm going to take a little vote on it, is do I add splatter or not? Let me show you the original card, and y'all can decide if you think I should add some splatter or not. The other thing, so look at how beautiful that stencil even looks. You could actually spray water on this and like put an impression somewhere if you wanted to. I'm tempted to do that. I wonder what would happen. Let's just do it super quick. Let's see if we can like not waste our beautiful ink here. I'm just gonna barely spray it. And I just grabbed watercolor paper. Let's see what happens if we do that. Oh, that's gonna look kind of cool. Okay, let's see how this looks. If you don't want to waste your ink and you want a quick cleanup, let's see what they look like here. Oh, you can't see the balloons as much, but you could come back in with this stencil and you'd have like a cool background. So let me just kind of keep my background going. Make sure I got that nice and good. And then I may come back in, y'all may see this on, oh look, it's like a rainbow background. Cool. I'm gonna put just a little bit more up here. And then I'm gonna try to come back in with the stencil, and I'm gonna add the balloons in, and y'all see that on social media. So that's just something fun I wanted to try. Sometimes I get excited and just have to try different things. Okay, let's see, have we got any questions? Yeah, don't waste them, for sure. For sure. And I'm gonna take a little bit of that off so that it looks better. But yeah, it's just a good way to like not waste all that ink. And it gives a kind of cool background. It's gonna look really good. What color you think I should do the balloons on this one? You think I should go rainbow since the splatter is rainbow? Or do you think I should go like something solid and just have some rainbow like splatter behind it? I'm curious on what you think. Y'all tell me. I'll let you vote on how you want this card to turn out, and then I will finish it later and I'll put it on social media so you can see how it turned out. So vote on that. How do you want me to finish this card? What color do you want those balloons to be? Do you want them to be like a metallic? Do you want them to be a blue, a purple, yellow, green? You want them to be rainbow again? Just let me know. This is a watercolor cardstock, so I think I'm going to try smushing some ink through them too. Yeah. And you could really use it. You don't even have to put balloons on it if you don't want, but look at how cute it looks. I love it when that happens. Purple, yeah, purple would look good. That's exactly, Deborah, that's the color that I thought of first, was making them purple. I could potentially make them pink and purple because it's got all the other colors. Okay, let me put this away. All right, so we got this beautiful thing. What do you think about splattering this? Let me show you the original. It's a little bit of a mess. Okay, so Galen says do individual solid color balloons, okay? Do all one color balloons is Rachel's. Metallic, yeah, that would be fun too. Those are some great ideas. Solid color, I think the solid color will make it show up against the background better, but I might could do like a lighter solid color. So here's the original card, and what I did is I took the yellow paint and the yellow ink, and I just added water and splattered it. I'm not sure what I think about it. Do you like the splatter or do you like the clean look? Which one is your preferred? I know it's a little hard to see the splatter on here. Oh, Gina, put the stencil back on and then a different pattern stencil over it. And then stencil different colored balloons. That'd be kind of fun. Rainbow solid balloon, solid color. Okay, so here's what I'll say. Let's do some numbers again. That way I can see in the chat when I look back at it what the popular is. Okay, let's say metallic balloons, which I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do those, but maybe metallic balloons is number 1. Number 2 would be rainbow balloons. Number 3 would be solid balloons. So let's vote. 1 metallic, 2 rainbow, 3 solid on this extra piece of paper that we did. Just throw those up in there and let me know, because I would love to hear. So this could be, like I said, I think most people are voting, let's keep it clean. Let's not splatter this one, which I kind of agree with. I didn't want to splatter it. I did die cut the sentiment just to make sure that this different pattern wouldn't take it, but I think you could possibly just stamp directly on it. And so I may, since we're trying things out, I may stamp directly on this and see what happens with it. Okay, so we got 3 was solid color, 2 was rainbow. Let's see what we're getting. I'm getting a lot of 2s, a lot of 3s. I see a 1. Okay. I'll have Rachel, if you will watch that chat and just tell me which one ended up being the winner, that'd be great. I see a lot of 2s and 3s. So we're definitely going with either solid or rainbow. Okay. All right. So we're not going to splatter this. Let's attempt to stamp directly in the middle. And let's look at which sentiment we'd like to do here. We could do a big one, That takes up most of the balloons. I could do this Let's Celebrate again. I could do Happy Birthday right across it. Or we could use some more. This set has so many. Birthday hugs, it's your birthday, a huge happy birthday to you, it's your day. I kind of like that it's your day. I'm voting either it's your day, the one that I originally used. I think it's your day is probably going to show up the best. Okay, 2 solid, 3. I feel like the 3s and 2s are possibly tied. Somebody throw in some tiebreakers. Tell me, 2 or 3. Solid is 2, right? Is solid 2 and is 3 rainbow? I might have to go back and watch, make sure I said the right thing. Okay, let's try stamping over it and see what happens. And this will be our last card, so we'll kind of wrap it up here. So things that I want to make sure you know, I got a huge heat embossing video coming out on Friday, so make sure you check that out. It is going to be a long video. It's a mashup of the top 10 ways to use embossing powder or heat embossing. So if you have been interested in that, I put this back in the wrong way. Then definitely join me for that video on my channel. Okay, it's tied right now, says Rachel. Oh gosh, if you hadn't voted, vote. Solid or rainbow, solid or rainbow. I think we've kind of knocked metallic out. Solid or rainbow, which one's it gonna be? Okay, oh, Bo said 3 is solid. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and look at what I said. You know what you're voting for, right? Did I say it wrong? Okay, I think 3 is solid too, actually. I think you're right there, Bo. Oh, and Bo, you will be so happy to know that I set a calendar reminder so that I could announce the replay winner of this video at noon next Friday. It will be in the pinned comment of this replay. So if you're wondering if you won the replay, noon next Friday will be announced in the pinned comment. And I want y'all to make sure you check because it seems it's very hard to get a hold of people on YouTube. And so sometimes it doesn't get claimed. So I want to make sure that you did that. So yeah, Bo said solid is number 3. So solid's 3, 2 is rainbow. Sorry, I got myself mixed up. Let's try stamping It's Your Day and see what happens. Hopefully it won't like bleed into this. We'll save it if it does. We got dies, that's fine. Let's try It's Your Day. Right in the center. And this is like just rough. So we'll see how it does when you just stamp directly on it. I'm going to be very cautious. Very cautious, but no promises. Okay, let's use our black. And then I'm going to put a black border, a mat around this one. When you are stamping, I'm going to show y'all something that sometimes happens to me. Bo says, yay, yeah, I'll pin it to the top when I get the replay winner. So did you see that I had a piece of fuzz on the stamp? Always double check your stamp. There's a piece of black fuzz on it that was going to make that stamp not stamp right. So just double check, really look at it before you put it down. I always look for little hairs and things like that too. Sometimes I get those on there. So here we go. Let's stamp it. Yeah, Bo, I did that just for you. Today I set myself a reminder because I forget all the time to do the replay winner, and Bo reminds me all the time, which is helpful, and I always thank her for that. Ooh, so it definitely is textured. I'm going to do it one more time. That looks cool. Oh, now I'm going to have some birthday cards, and I can't wait to work on that other one that y'all voted on. Okay, trying to be careful because this paper just feels like it would bleed because it's so rough. I'm afraid that the letters will bleed, but that actually looks pretty good. Good. Okay, so Rachel, have you decided which one wins? Because next I'm going to have them pick the color that I do, and then I'll put it out there for you. If y'all aren't following me on social media, I'm Nicki Hearts Cards on Instagram. Facebook is really growing like crazy. I'm on Facebook. I am on most everything. Okay, number 3 gets 11, and that was solid. Okay, cool. Thank you, Rachel. I'm making Rachel work hard. Sorry about that in the chat, but thank you, Rachel. Okay, so here we go. We got It's Your Day. Let me carefully get this off here, and I'll show you that I matted this with black, and I think that just kind of helps. Here's what I'm doing. Let me wipe off this stamp so that I don't get it all over the place. All right, and let me get this off the background. I'll put it up. So these stamps are from my favorite stamp set. It's called Birthday Your Way Too from Papertrey Ink. Great stamp sentiments. I always need happy birthday, and so it's a really good one if you need to do that. It's called Birthday Your Way Too, and that's what we used for the middle. And then for the balloons, we used Balloon Party. And don't forget, I've got an exclusive coupon code. There's a replay giveaway. And there's lots of fun things on my channel right now. And there's a card summit coming up that is free. And I'm going to be teaching the Papertrey Ink card. I'll show you all the cards so that you can see what we made. And I'll show you the one for that summit as well, just so you can kind of review. So I think we went with, we're going to do solid on those balloons. So if we're going to do solid, here's that piece of paper that we just made. I kind of think pink or purple, maybe a bright blue. What's your thoughts? Let's vote blue, purple, or pink for these balloons. Blue, purple, or pink. Yeah, and make sure to say thank you to Papertrey Ink. They did provide us with giveaways. They provide us with the exclusive coupon code. We love them. We want to make sure we support them. It's a great company, and I love that Julie is here with us. So make sure you support them. Let me show you how I matted this, and then I'll bring out all the cards. Now, if you missed the one last week, we did this birthday card with Papertrey Ink too. So we did this one, was it last week or 2 weeks ago in our live stream about paper? So they also have some fun balloon dies. They have some fun polka dots that I love. So make sure you don't miss that live stream either. Purple is winning. Okay, purple is winning, yay. Okay, so I'm gonna mat this here. You think I should put any bows on it or anything? I could tie a little bit here. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna leave it pretty simple, like that. So we have this one that we created today. Let's go through all our cards real quick. Okay, it looks like purple might be winning. Okay, is purple still winning? Y'all come in with the tiebreaker, purple, pink, or blue. This was my original, so we did a little bit different sentiment. This one has splatter, so let me hold it up. Splattered it with ink. I'm not sure what I think about it with that splatter. This one we kept more simple and didn't do any splatter. This is the back side of tissue paper, super rough tissue paper, so we had a little bit of issues. You have to do some special stuff blending it. And then we made this one, which was our first card, where we did rainbow ink blending on the more slick side of the paper. We did this nice heat embossed sentiment, beautiful die cut with some rainbow stamping behind it. And then we added a little bit of flair with our ribbon that I found in my drawer. Okay. So that was card number one. Let me show you the original of that one. First time I made it was a little bit darker, and I'd added that wraparound purple. So this is what I made first. This is what we made live. Okay, we'll try to go here. All righty. Anybody got a birthday coming up that they need a birthday card? Tell me if you got a birthday coming up, and one of these might just end up in your mailbox if you don't care to send me your address. All right, and then we made these. So we also made our bright blue foil cards. Which one did I make today? I don't know. I think I made this one today because I think I just smudged it a little bit. So this one, we did that foundry wax in the background, and we heated it up on foil paper, which we used the handmade quilt die cut for, and created that beautiful pattern for that super, super shiny paper. Used some really thick gold and created all of these cards. So tell me if you got a birthday coming up. I'd love to hear it. And I will put our little surprise card on social media in the next few days. I'll add some balloons to this. I think purple is the winner. So we'll purple these balloons and we'll see what you think about it. It's so fun just to use that extra ink from the stencil to create something. I thought it was so fun. So I hope that you enjoyed it. Make sure that you use, if you use the coupon code, that you use my affiliate link with it, please. That will be in the links of description and everything. Thanks, Julie. Awesome. I hope that everybody has a great day. I will see you soon. Oh, not till June for Sandy. Anybody else got a birthday coming up? See if anybody else has one coming up. I'm terrible at sending birthday cards, so I just want to know. Water is so cool. Thank you. Thank you. This is a fun die. I love this birthday. I love this birthday cake die. Super fun. Yeah, just comment in if we get off here and you didn't tell me if you have an upcoming birthday, let me know in the comments if you watch the replay. Okay, everybody just comment that and I'll try to find somebody to send one of these cards to. Thank you. I appreciate all of you being here. Make sure you've hit the thumbs up before you leave. And I will see you soon. I hope that you have a great weekend. Get lots of crafting done. Oh, I see somebody who's got a March 3rd birthday, Kelly. Okay, yeah, well, I'll check people in the replay as well for birthday cards, and I'm going to send one to somebody. So much fun. And Bo, like I said, I've set a reminder. I'm going to announce the replay winner in 1 week. So there's another $50 gift card for the replay. Make sure that you comment below for that. And I hope that all of y'all love these cards. I had so much fun making them with you, and I hope to see you again soon. I will have a video on my channel next Friday, and I'll be live with the Papertrey new release on Tuesday, February 24th. I believe it's the 24th. Okay, have a great day. I will see you soon. Bye.